Choosing the right sewing machine can make a big difference when you want to repair clothes, start sewing projects, or create your own designs at home. Between stitch options, ease of use, power, accessories, durability, and fabric compatibility, not all sewing machines are made for the same type of user. To help you choose, I've selected the top 3 sewing machines you can get right now, based on performance, ease of use, versatility, and value for money. In the third, I picked the RX Melee, and this one is clearly made for beginners or for simple sewing tasks at home. The first thing I liked about it is the compact size. It does not take up much space, and because it is lightweight, it is easy to move around or store when you are not using it. If you live in a small apartment, or if you just want a sewing machine for occasional repairs, this is a practical option. It comes with 12 built-in stitches, which is actually quite useful for a mini sewing machine. You can use it for basic seams, small repairs, simple decoration, and beginner projects. I also like that it has 2 speed settings, because when you are just starting, having a slower speed makes it easier to control the fabric. The foot pedal is another good point. It gives you a more natural sewing experience compared to using only a button. You also get a built-in light, which helps when working on darker fabrics, or when you need to see the stitching area more clearly. The small storage drawer is convenient too, especially for keeping small accessories close to the machine. Another advantage is the dual power option. You can use it with the AC adapter or with batteries, which makes it more flexible if you want to use it in different places. But you do have to be careful not to use both power modes at the same time, because the brand warns that it could damage the motor. Now, this is not a heavy-duty sewing machine. It is better for light fabrics, basic repairs, beginner practice, and small projects. Customer feedback is also mixed when it comes to durability, jamming, and foot pedal issues, so I would not recommend it for thick fabrics or intensive use. Overall, the RX Melee is a good budget-friendly choice if you are just getting started and want something simple, compact, and easy to use. It is not the most powerful model in this ranking, but for beginners and light home sewing, it can be a useful first machine. Secondly, I chose the Brother, and this one feels like a much more complete and reliable sewing machine for beginners and everyday use. The first thing I liked is how versatile it is. With 27 built-in stitches, you can do much more than just basic straight stitching. You get decorative stitches, zigzag stitches, blind hem stitches, stretch stitches, and even an auto-size buttonhole. That makes it useful for many different projects, from simple clothing repairs to home decor and small DIY creations. It also comes with 6 included sewing feet, which is a big advantage if you want to try different types of sewing. You can work on seams, hems, zippers, buttonholes, and more without needing to buy everything separately right away. For a beginner, that makes the machine feel much more complete. Another feature I really liked is the automatic needle threader. Threading a needle can be annoying, especially when you are new to sewing, so having this feature saves time and makes the machine easier to use. The drop-in top bobbin is also convenient because it is easier to load and monitor compared to older-style bobbin systems. The free arm is another practical feature. It makes it easier to sew sleeves, cuffs, pant legs, and other smaller or rounded pieces of fabric. This is useful if you plan to do clothing adjustments or basic alterations at home. In use, the Brother feels like a good balance between beginner-friendly and capable. It is not too complicated, but it still gives you enough options to grow and improve. It can handle lightweight and medium-weight fabrics like cotton, denim, and some stretch fabrics, as long as you use the right needle and settings. Now, it is not perfect. Some users say the instructions can be a bit difficult at first, and there are mixed reviews about skipped stitches or broken needles. But overall, customer feedback is very strong, especially for ease of use, value for money, and beginner suitability. For me, The Brother is one of the best choices if you want a real sewing machine that is still easy to learn. It is more expensive than the Mini model, but it offers better features, better versatility, and a more dependable sewing experience. That is why I placed it at number 2. And to finish, first of all, I picked the Singer, and this one is the most powerful option in this top 3. The first thing that stands out is the heavy-duty design. This machine is made with a metal frame, and it feels more solid than lighter beginner models. If you want to work with thicker fabrics like denim, canvas, or heavier materials, this is the kind of machine that makes more sense. It also has 50% more power compared to standard machines, which helps when sewing through tougher fabrics. When you are working on thicker layers, a weaker machine can slow down, struggle, or skip stitches. With the Singer, the motor feels stronger and more confident for demanding projects. Another strong point is the speed. It can sew up to 1,100 stitches per minute, which makes it much faster than many basic machines. This is great if you want to finish projects quickly, especially when working on long seams, repairs, or larger pieces of fabric. Even though it is a heavy-duty model, it still gives you good versatility. It has 11 built-in stitches and 69 stitch applications, so you can use it for basic sewing, decorative stitching, repairs, home projects, and garment work. You also get a 4-step buttonhole, which is useful if you want to make shirts, bags, or clothing adjustments. I also like the top drop in bobbin system with a clear cover. It makes it easier to see your thread supply and avoid running out of bobbin thread in the middle of a seam. The stainless steel bed plate is another nice detail because it helps the fabric glide more smoothly while sewing. The stitch selection is simple, and you can adjust stitch length and width, which gives you more control depending on the fabric and the type of stitch you want. It is a machine that feels simple enough to use, but strong enough for more serious projects. Now, the Singer is not the cheapest sewing machine, and it may feel a bit more intimidating for complete beginners compared to the Brother. Some customers also mention threading issues, bobbin problems, or mixed durability feedback, so it is important to set it up correctly and follow the instructions carefully. But overall, this is the best choice in this ranking if you want power, speed, and a stronger build. The RX Melee is good for small beginner projects. The Brother is excellent for learning and everyday sewing. But the Singer is the one I would choose if I wanted something more durable and capable for heavier fabrics. That is why I placed it at number 1. It is fast, powerful, versatile, and built for people who want a sewing machine that can handle more than just basic light repairs. That's it for this top 3 sewing machines. As you've seen, each model has its own strengths. Whether you want a compact machine for simple repairs, a beginner-friendly option with more stitch choices, or a heavy-duty model for thicker fabrics and faster sewing. The best choice depends on your experience level, the type of projects you want to make, and how often you plan to use it. A good sewing machine should be easy to use, reliable, versatile, and powerful enough for your needs. I hope this video helped you find the right sewing machine for your next projects. If you are interested in the product, the link is in the description. But above all, subscribe to not miss the next videos. See you soon.